Welcome to Grenada, the island of spice, a jewel in the Eastern Caribbean where history, culture, and natural beauty intertwine. From its ancient volcanic origins to its modern vibrancy, Grenada's story is one of resilience, diversity, and spice, both literal and cultural. Join us as we journey through the rich history and dynamic present of this captivating island nation. Grenada's story begins millions of years ago, when volcanic activity birthed this rugged island. Around 2 million years ago, the Caribbean Plates movement forged Grenada's dramatic landscape, from the towering Mount St. Catherine to the serene Grand Etang crater lake. Long before European contact, Grenada was home to indigenous peoples. The Arawaks were among the first settlers, followed by the Caribs, who called the island Camahone. Archaeological evidence, like shell middens at Point Salines dating back to 765 BC, hints at their presence, though the earliest confirmed human artifacts come from the early Ceramic Age, around 260 AD, at sites like Busger and Pearls. In 1498, Christopher Columbus sighted Grenada during his third voyage, naming it Concepcion. But the name didn't stick, and by the 1520s, Spanish maps called it La Granada, after the city of Granada. The Caribs fiercely resisted European colonization, keeping Grenada uncolonized for over a century. It wasn't until 1649 that the French, led by Jacques d'Isle de Parquet from Martinique, established a permanent settlement. They signed a treaty with Carib chief Kairouane, but peace was short-lived. By 1654, after conflicts, the French subjugated the island, and many Caribs faced displacement or worse. Some leapt to their deaths at Sauteurs rather than surrender. The French named their colony La Grenade and built a capital, Fort Royal, now St. George's, around a natural harbour that sheltered their navy from hurricanes. The economy thrived on sugarcane and indigo, powered by the tragic labour of enslaved Africans. In 1714, cocoa beans arrived, laying the foundation for Grenada's chocolate legacy. Control of the island shifted in 1762 when the British captured Grenada during the 7 Years' War. The 1763 Treaty of Paris ceded it to Britain, though the French briefly regained control from 1779 to 1783. Under British rule, sugar remained king until nutmeg, introduced in 1782 by botanist Sir Joseph Banks, transformed Grenada into a spice powerhouse. The 18th century saw resistance against colonial oppression. In 1795, Fedon's rebellion, inspired by the Haitian Revolution and led by Julian Fedon, a mixed-race planter, nearly toppled British rule. Though it was quashed, it underscored the fight for freedom. Slavery was abolished in 1833, and Grenada's economy diversified with cacao and spices. By 1885, St. George's became the capital of the British Windward Islands. The 19th century also saw the arrival of East Indian indentured labourers, adding to Grenada's cultural mosaic. The 20th century brought political awakening. In the 1950s, the labour movement, led by Eric Gary and his Grenada United Labour Party, fueled calls for independence. Grenada joined the short-lived Federation of the West Indies from 1958 to 1962 and gained autonomy in 1967. On February 7, 1974, Grenada became an independent nation within the Commonwealth, with Gary as its first Prime Minister. But his rule, marred by allegations of fraud and authoritarianism, sparked unrest. In 1979, the Marxist-Leninist New Jewel movement, led by Maurice Bishop, seized power in a bloodless coup. Bishop's government forged ties with Cuba, which helped build the Point Salines Airport, now Maurice Bishop International Airport. But internal factions within the movement led to tragedy. In 1983, Bishop was overthrown and executed by hardline allies. The ensuing chaos prompted a United States-led invasion, backed by 6 Caribbean nations, to restore order. The invasion, controversial yet swift, reinstated democratic elections by 1984. Grenada's path to stability wasn't without challenges. In 2004, Hurricane Ivan, a Category 5 storm, devastated 90% of the island's buildings and crippled its nutmeg industry. Hurricane Emily followed in 2005, adding to the recovery burden. Yet, Grenada's resilience shone through. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, launched in 2000, addressed the turbulent 1970s and 1980s, seeking closure for the nation. By 2005, Grenada re-established ties with China, boosting infrastructure development. Today, Grenada is a thriving Caribbean gem, known as the Island of Spice for its nutmeg, mace, cinnamon, and cloves, which account for nearly 40% of the world's nutmeg supply. Its population of 114,621, as of 2024, is a vibrant mix, 89% of African descent, with traces of East Indian, European, and indigenous Carib heritage. St. George's, the capital, blends historical charm with modern vibrancy, its pastel-colored buildings framing the Carnage Harbour. Grand Anse Beach, a 2-mile stretch of white sand, draws tourists, while the underwater sculpture park in Molineux Bay, created by artist Jason DeCaires-Taylor, offers a unique blend of art and marine conservation. Grenada's culture is a tapestry of African, European, and Caribbean influences. The annual carnival, held in August on Grenada and February on Carriacou, pulses with soca, calypso, and vibrant costumes, echoing traditions of resistance from slavery days. The national dish, oil down, a hearty stew of breadfruit, coconut milk, and salted meat, reflects the island's soul. At the River Antoine Rum Distillery, operating since 1785, visitors step back in time, tasting rum made with traditional water-powered methods. Grenada's House of Chocolate in St. George's celebrates its cocoa heritage, offering a taste of all 3 global cocoa varieties. Nature is Grenada's heartbeat. Annandale Falls, a 30-foot cascade surrounded by lush greenery, invites visitors to swim or picnic. Leverer National Park, with its mangrove swamps and white sand beaches, is a haven for hikers and birdwatchers. Spice plantations, like the Guyave Nutmeg Processing Cooperative, showcase Grenada's agricultural backbone. The island's tropical climate, with temperatures between 72 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, supports year-round farming, though it lies on the edge of the hurricane belt, as seen with Hurricane Beryl's devastating impact on Carriacou in July 2024. Politically, Grenada is a parliamentary democracy within the Commonwealth, with King Charles III as head of state, represented by a Governor-General. In 2022, Dickon Mitchell of the National Democratic Congress became Prime Minister, defeating veteran Keith Mitchell. His administration focuses on combating unemployment and inflation while fostering job growth. Grenada's media enjoys constitutional freedom, with outlets like the Grenada Broadcasting Network and privately owned MTV keeping the public informed. Education is the cornerstone of its development in Grenada, reflecting the nation's commitment to empowering its 114,621 citizens. Rooted in British colonial traditions, the system has evolved to meet modern needs. Education is free and compulsory for children aged 5 to 16, with a 98% literacy rate, among the Caribbean's high. The system spans pre-primary, primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, managed by the Ministry of Education. Grenada boasts 57 public and 20 private primary schools, emphasizing core subjects and vocational skills. Secondary education, accessed via the Common Entrance Exam, prepares students for the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate. Marichaux Community College offers associate degrees and technical training, while St. George's University, a global leader in medical education, attracts international students. Challenges like resource constraints and hurricane-related disruptions persist, but initiatives like the Schools Enhancement Program improve infrastructure. Grenada's focus on STEM, agriculture, and tourism-related education aligns with its spice-driven economy, fostering a skilled workforce. Community involvement and cultural integration ensure education reflects Grenada's vibrant heritage, nurturing future leaders. Well, that's enough for today. Hope by now, your mind is in the Caribbean, exploring the beauty of Grenada. Thanks for joining Planet Policy on this journey through Grenada's past and present. Stay curious, and see you next time.